Terror, Episode 8, Terror Camp Clear. This was definitely a fun episode. I was really curious pretty much the whole way through. I was like, how in the world is this really going to end up playing out? And it didn't go as expected, especially considering, like they have the whole thing kind of played. I was like, all right, Hickey, kind of a weird dude. So things are like, well, let's really go see what happens. Let's investigate. It seems a little odd. Let's go check this out and get some real evidence. Things are getting bad at the camp, and everything that kind of comes down to the end. It's like, okay, they got him. That's weird. I didn't think they'd kill him, but it's a mini series, so I was like, yeah, maybe he'll be killed. So only 10 episodes. We only got two more to go. So I was like, maybe they'll actually get killed off, and then it'll just be them dealing with the bear. It's like that kind of makes sense. And then the bear shows up, or the spirit, the crazy monster thing shows up, and then it's just absolute pandemonium. And I was like, this is kind of weird, just kind of going through the episode trying to figure out who's going to live and who's going to die, because Hickey had people, like Crozer and Fitzjames, they're trying to figure out exactly what's going on, and then, more and more people are kind of getting rallied in, and people who aren't really, with Hickey are just being kind of brought in by the, sheer fear of it all. So it's like a lot of people are instantly on his side, even without truly being on his side, like, the two guys. And it was just like, okay, well, how bad is this really gonna get? And it seemed like it was kind of going the normal route. Like, this guy killed two people, two of our people, which led to like five other deaths of innocent people who could have easily helped us. And then, they were supposed to be hung or hanged, or whichever the actual term is. I guess hung, because it didn't actually happen. And then the monster comes in. People start getting torn apart. The one dude who was getting sicker and sicker, he just officially like goes crazy in this episode. And I'm almost curious. It's like it was like a weird thing where he kind of came along, and then the monster kind of came in behind him, and it was like, well, I guess he was sick, because he was like kind of sick from the food, but also his eyes like went black for that one split second. So I'm like, somewhere in there is magic based, and I felt like he was the reason that the creature was able to find them again. But it was really awesome. I didn't think that they would utilize the fog beyond kind of the fear tactic, where it's like, don't you hear that noise out there? It's like they're coming to kill us all, and them not really being able to figure things out. And then it was just crazy entertaining, because it's like, well, who's around this corner? Like, it could either be the monster, it could be Hickey, it could be the people that are following him, and they're looking for a good sir. And it was just like, there's a lot of stuff happening right now, where it's like, you don't really know, where anyone is in relation to each other. You don't know who's gonna attack who. You don't know if anyone's gonna live or die, especially in the moment when things start to really get nuts. So I definitely love the way the ending of the episode was handled, and I'm really curious what's gonna happen going forward, because of course now we have Hickey and his people, because there were quite a few people that stuck with him. So they took off. They have about 5 guns, and then you have the rest of the crew who's left, because a ton of people, of course, got killed. So you have people that were killed by the monster. You have Hickey and his people that took off, and then you have all the survivors, and now they still have to make their trek, and kind of the same for Hickey and his people. So we'll probably see what happens there. But we also have the idea that maybe it is possible that we'll see some native retaliation for what happened, because it'll be like, well, they'll probably find out the same thing, where it's like, well, they killed these people for no good reason. Even if Lady Silence explains it, that still might not be good enough. So I'm really curious how that's going to end up playing out. And then, of course, the whole element of the monster in general, which, surprise, surprise, it's alive. But yeah, it was a really good episode. Like, I just really liked this one for how the tension was kind of building up. And it seemed like it was all, the human-based problem, which is what had me really curious, because this was kind of building up, especially with the way the last episode ended. It was definitely like, where the heck is this going to go with Hickey being this really crazy guy? So I like the way they handled it for this episode, and I'm curious to see what they do with Hickey and his small crew. If that's going to be, if they're going to split the story up now, that should be pretty interesting. So I'm looking forward to how things play out in these last 2 episodes, but definitely enjoyed this one. I like the human element, them building up the tension and everything. Someone told me who Hickey was in the comment section of my last review, but I didn't want to read it because I didn't know if they were going to like explain it in the episode. I read like a little bit of it, which I want to explain here for anyone who doesn't know the full story yet. So I don't know if they're going to reveal that in like the last 2 episodes. What little bit I pretty much saw like the main part like right on the top, so I was like, oh, I kind of didn't want to know that, but I got that little bit, so I'm curious how that's gonna end up happening because I thought it would happen in this episode, considering he was seemingly about to die, but it didn't happen. So maybe it'll happen in the next two, and if not, then I'll just talk about it during the finale. That what the person let me know from the book, but definitely curious how that's gonna play out and how that's even gonna come up in the story at this point. Because I was like, if there's any time to do it, it's when you're about to die, and it's just like, well, this is about to happen, and then boom. Um, but yeah, they didn't do the part that I was kind of expecting. So I'm looking forward to how that's gonna end up playing out if they decide to stick with it at all, which I assume they will, considering how things have played out in the story. It totally makes sense for them to still have that reveal a little bit later. So looking forward to that, and just curious how these next two episodes are gonna play out. And I'm assuming everybody dies because the whole point of the first scene of the series is like we're looking for these people we couldn't find for like however many years they've been. I don't even know. I think the span of the show has been um almost like a year. Yeah, it's been over a year and a few months because they mentioned last year was the June 11th thing. So yeah, I just don't know. Like I don't know if we're gonna get like an extra skip in like the last episode. It's been like it's been even 3 or 4 years after that because they did say like we'll send somebody by the next decade or something if they don't come back. So maybe they actually did. But we'll see what happens. So, we'll see what happens there. But definitely want to know what you guys thought about this episode. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts about it, your least favorite parts about it. And now with Hickey and his men kind of taking off to do whatever crazy thing they're going to end up doing, I would love to know your predictions on how that storyline is going to play out. Like what you think Hickey's going to do. Honestly, I think Crozier is right. Where it's like, hey, he would probably have burned through all you guys. Probably, killed everybody and just eating them, I guess. I don't know. That seems like what he would have done. It seems easy enough to me. Like it seems like just what he was wanting to do. I don't know. The dude's insane. Who knows? But I assume he would just maybe get mad at somebody, kill them, take a dump on them. I don't know. He likes to poop and stab people. That's like the two things he's really done is say stuff, poop on a bed, and kill two people. That's really like his highlights. That's it. So I would love to know your predictions on War in the World his character is going to end up doing it, how what's even going to happen with that entire group of people, and of course want to know what you guys thought about this episode in general. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.